magnificent collection of young artists. This is Victor Gould on piano. This is Cush Aberdeen on drums. This is Rashawn Carter on bass. And that's Ben Solomon on tenor sax.
Well, I'm from Chicago. I grew up there, and I'm 20 years old, and I play tenor saxophone. And I guess in terms of how I got to play with this band, I was going to school in Yonkers for college, and I played a gig with Wallace's son. And after that gig, Wallace's band was playing, and I got to sit in with this band, you know. And then a few months later, I started working with the band, and it's really great for me because it's really my first time being in a real working band, and obviously Wallace has all this experience, so I'm really happy to learn from him and the other people in the band. It's great, yeah. Yeah, I would say John Coltrane and Wayne Shorter.
My name's Rashawn Carter. I play the bass. I'm originally from Washington, D.C. I'm 27. When I first joined the band, I was the youngest person in the band. And now, I lead these guys in age. It's fun. I've been with Wallace for a good run, and I've learned a lot. I left college and joined Wallace's school. And I keep on learning. Every gig, you know, there's new things to discover. Just a lot of Wallace is a wealth of knowledge about the music, the history of the music, you know, whether it's theory, performance, practice, you know, the culture of jazz, the business of the music. You know, he leads us by just an awesome example of a band leader. What we're doing here is it's a rarity at this point where you have someone really teaching young musicians how to play the music properly and play it based on the tradition that they learned. And you know, and it's a tradition that's sort of, you know, Wallace is part of a tradition that goes back to the beginning of this music. So we all have a really special opportunity, and so, you know, we're grateful for any opportunity to play. Paul Chambers and Ron Carter.
My name is Cush Aberdeen. I play the drums. I joined Wallace when I was, I think, 16.
No. My God. My God.
And my father and Wallace go way back, and I'm also from Washington, D.C. So I've known Rashawn before I joined the band, and I think my father kind of wanted Wallace to mentor me as I got of age and started playing and becoming very serious with the music. And I was fortunate enough to see him play at the Iridium one year when I was going to IJE, and I saw the band, and I was amazed with Wallace and with you know, stature of musicianship he had. And I always knew who he was before that, playing with Tony Williams, who was also a huge inspiration of mine and one of my favorite drummers. So it was kind of a no-brainer for me to want to be a part of the band initially. And when I got the call, I was pretty excited to come to New York and start rehearsing with the band. I've grown up in this band. It's been about, I think, 5 years. So I've grown from a young boy to a young man. And you know, I cherish every moment that I'm on the bandstand with these guys, and I really, you know, I'm always excited to see the development of us as a group and individually, because, you know, the camaraderie between the band is very special. It's not just musical, we're also friends. You know, we can hang and can talk outside of a musical environment, so that's always very helpful. But I'm very I'm looking forward to seeing where this band goes, you know, in this configuration. I'm in it for the long run.
Yeah, I'm Victor Gould, 25 years old from Los Angeles, California. And it's just been such a blessing to be a part of this group. I was first introduced to Wallace's music when I was very young by my father at Hollow School. You know, when I was about 12 or 13, he introduced me to Wallace Roney's music, and at the same time to Art Blakey's music. And so when I was actually fortunate enough to meet Wallace and to play with him, it felt so natural because I've been following everything he's done since I started playing jazz music, since I started studying, and you know, everything he teaches me, I couldn't even imagine where I would learn it anywhere else. But when he tells it to me, it makes a lot of sense. And just being in this band and the musicians that he likes, everything just makes a lot of sense to me. The way I joined the band about a year ago, a friend of mine called me to do a rehearsal with the band, and you know, as soon as I got that call, I dropped everything I had, you know, for about, you know, a month. You know, I was rehearsing with the band far before I was actually in the band. So anytime I heard about any kind of Wallace rehearsal, I would, you know, drop what I was doing and go down to Clifton, New Jersey, to his home, and just basically learn. You know, that's mostly what it was about for me, was learning. And then I was fortunate enough for him to call me to do the recording, which is the last recording entitled Understanding, which was just released recently. So yeah, I've been in the band ever since. Still, just like Rashawn said, you know, the school of Wallace, this is like some of the best school I can imagine having.
I want to say something about each one of these guys. Of course, Victor, the way Victor came to me, he told exactly what happened. Ben Solomon doesn't know, but the way I discovered Ben was one day my son was playing me a tape of him, and we listened to it, me and a friend. We was downstairs, and he played so much we thought it was a Coltrane. And we came upstairs, it was Ben Solomon. So I arranged for Ben to come and do a gig with, put together a young band for my son. But I wanted to hear more of Ben. So after they played, that's when I started asking Ben to come around, and I started calling him and putting little things in his ear. When I first met Rashawn I got introduced to Rashawn by my brother. And Rashawn used to come over to the house and just play. And one day I had a rehearsal before a gig, and Rashawn played so well, when my regular bass player came, everybody looked at me and said, "Can Rashawn come back?" and I said, "Yeah, I want him back too." And I looked up, and I started making excuses to my bass player why I was going to use Rashawn. And Rashawn been with me ever since. And Kush, like he said, his father talked to me about him. But when people talk to me about people, that doesn't do it. But one day I heard Kush sit in a nightclub, and he subbed for his father at a club called Bohemian Taverns. And he played so much, it blew me away. And then he came in later and sat in with me at the Iridium. And the pieces just came together. So that's how all these guys got together. And man, I think these are the best young musicians, seriously, in the world.